What up, people? Welcome to the Matrix, aka the Mystic Corner, aka Spirit World. I'm back with another video. Today's video is going to be pretty dope because it's going to be something that everybody can relate to. Everybody, at least every living thing here on Earth. So, yeah, I'm going to start it off with this. It's a verse from the Bible, and it's found in Ecclesiastes chapter 7, verse 2. And it goes like this. Better to spend your time at funerals than at parties. After all, everyone dies, so the living should take this to heart. The living should take this to heart. And when it's talking about living, it's talking about us here that are breathing here on Earth. The crazy thing is that I know it's my first video, but it's going to be about death. And it's going to be about death for a reason. For one, it's something that we're all going to go through. You know, as long as that's something that I always have in my mind. Anybody that I met is gonna die. So, you know, at least try, like, your best to, you know, like, take that person serious. That's my way of, like, taking everybody serious. I'm just like, yo, everybody that I meet, they're gonna die. So, you know, I'm trying to connect with them. And yeah, man. So today we're gonna talk about death, and I'm gonna specifically talk about the deaths that I've been aware of, and that's two types of death. That's the physical death and the mental death, which is kind of like the spiritual one. And yeah, man, I'm gonna talk about my first encounter, my awareness of death, and it happened when I was 19. So that was 6 years ago. I had a homie, you know, that I used to cut up because, you know, if most of y'all don't know, I'm a barber. But on my beginning days when I was cutting hair, I had this dude that I would cut up, and I mean, he got a pretty easy haircut. And he would come often, like, he would come like every 3 days. He would go play basketball, and then he would come through. So I would cut him up. Then one day he was like, yo, man, like my foot hurts. And then I wouldn't see him as often. And I would be like, damn, man, I don't see my homie. Like, you know, like, did I mess up his hair or something? And then I found out that he got cancer, you know. And right around that time, I kind of started, like, the spirit journey, you know. Like, I started, like, seeking more. I started, like, thinking more to myself, being more isolated, where even I was like, I lived a year away from here from Florida. I lived in the Dominican Republic at the time for like a year, and I was growing because I was isolated. So, you know, my homie was going through his treatments and stuff, and we would talk through Facebook, and he would be like, oh, like, man, like, you know, I'm going through it, but I got faith in God. So that got me even more fired up, like, yeah, man, God, man. So I'm like, yo, God, like, can you heal my boy, you know? Because I'm over here like, yo, I don't want nothing to happen to him. Because, you know, especially the younger we are, man, the less death is even in our mind, which is why, you know, we're kind of, like, more reckless in the beginning of our lives. So I'm kind of glad that, you know, like, that death, like, started creeping at me at a young age. Because, you know, I had, like, a grandma die when I was younger, too, but I wasn't really aware of it. But having my boy / you know, like, one of the people I was training with cutting hair, that, you know, the first days you want to cut as much as possible. So those cuts, they took me like forever. So we got to talk for like an hour or more. And yeah, man, my boy ends up, we were praying, you know, hardcore, because that's all we would talk about on Facebook. We'd be like, yo, I'm praying for you, dog, like, everything's gonna be good, you know, like, you're gonna get healed. And then I remember one time he was like, yo, he didn't even say he wanted to get healed. He was like, yo, I just want this to go away. So, and then boom, right there and then I knew, like, yo, what's going on? So I come back when I finally get Wi-Fi in the Dominican Republic, yo, and I get, like, messages like, boom, yo, he died. And I'm like, yo, what? I cried for like a whole day. For like a whole day, man. And I cursed at God. I was like, yo, what the beep is wrong with you, you know, because, like, I'm over here praying to you, dog, and I think, like, can you do anything, bro? Can you do anything? But little did I know that he was doing everything, because, yo, my boy died. Like, a lot of the people, everybody that knew him, yo, they got impacted in a way. And that's something that I learned, you know, like, through just life. Had he not died, bro, I mean, me personally, it impacted me. Had he not died, and, you know, I felt like, you know, he was at a good place. He died with faith, bro. When you die with faith, when you ain't afraid of death, that's how you're supposed to die. And that's, you know, my goal. I want to die like that, too. I want to go out, like, I don't care about death, bro. You know, like I got the most out of life, and I know what life's about, and that's about making connections. So yeah, man. When the homie died, I was going through it for like a day, because I'm like, yo, how the hell can this happen? I thought he was gonna get healed, and then that's the first time it got brought to my awareness. The first time it got brought to my awareness, and it let me know that we might not know why people die, but when a person dies and they connect with people like that, when they have like a big group of friends, that person becomes like a kind of like a seed that was planted, that it's kind of like a bomb that blows up, and then because of that one death, a bunch of people are going to start really living, because they're going to start taking life serious, you know, because that one death will make you really aware of life. And that was, like I said, the first death, which is the physical one, and that's the ones that we're gonna when we go through it, it's like it changes you, it scars you in your soul, because then you take life a little bit more serious. And now I'm gonna talk about the second death. The second death is the mental death, which can also a lot of the people that I know that have mental death is like people that either they lost somebody, and you know they can't cope with it, and they get stuck there, or you know they'll run into really bad situations, and then they just don't want to live. And I've been in those situations, which is kind of like depressed mode, you know, when you're just like stuck. And that's the second type of death. Like, even a story that I can throw out there about this lady that I know. She's old. She's like probably like 78. But you know, situations that her marriage failed at a young age, and she's been stuck on that. You know, that whole like whatever storm that happened in her life earlier, and she hasn't moved on from there. So because she hasn't moved on from that event, she hasn't really lived for like the last 50 years of her life. And that's something really sad, because we can also get stuck in that. And that's something that we have to really look within and see, yo, like, are we living, does every day feel like a routine? Like, if every day feels like a routine for me, then maybe I'm already dead spiritually. And the way the human was built, it was built for growth. And what do I mean by that? Like, first example, the tree. The tree has to go through a process called, has to germinate, which means that the seed has to like dry out completely. It basically has to die in order for it to grow. So next time you see a tree, look at it and be like, damn, yo, before you were, you know, this thing that's helping me live, breathe and all that, it was a little seed that had to die before it could grow. In the same way is the way humans are programmed, you know. In order for you to start living, you gotta die. So either you die, like, you gotta have that death instead of staying stuck in that like mental death mode. You gotta go for it. You gotta die. Just boom, die to yourself. And what I mean by that is die to everything you know, everything you've been like taught by, you know, anything. Just die to yourself, and then just start experiencing life how you should, which is just aware, like whatever you're seeing, that's kind of like what it is. So, you know, if you're feeling, like, let your heart guide you, basically, is what I'm trying to say, because your heart don't lie. You know, if you're getting a bad vibe, then you know maybe that's not where you should be at. So I always tell my homies, I was just telling my boy this earlier today after work. I was like, yo, like, just take a day to yourself, meditate, you know, just sit back and be like, yo, is this the life I want to live? And then put that life that you want to live in your mind, you know, which should be a life of like, yo, like, of healing, you know, being cool with everybody, you know, fixing everything, and a life of purpose, which is, yo, go hard after what's in your heart. You know, if you're an artist, go after your art. If, you know, if you build, you know, go hard after that, but just master your craft, and that will align with your purpose, and you'll see how crazy mystic things happen. So yeah, that's just like today's video is about death. Just a thought out there for you guys. Yeah, I'll try to drop a video every week. Thank you guys for the feedback on the first video. And yeah, this is just food for thought, man. Just me messing around, throwing my thoughts out there in the matrix. Peace.